All right, it's an early work day for me. I had an orthodontist appointment this morning, so I have Invisalign if you've noticed that my teeth look a little funky. But anyway, so that was early this morning. I stopped to get some coffee, and now I'm headed to the studio to work a little bit before we open the store for the day. My store and studio is located inside the historic Marathon Village. It's an old car manufacturing building that they've redone to be different studio spaces and stores. And then in the hallway, there is history and tools and equipment that tell the story of what the building used to be. So it's really cool if you're ever in Nashville. I don't want to be one of those people that makes coffee my entire personality, but I do think that I am 99% coffee at this point. I just soldered some stacking rings. I'm about to solder some bar studs. So this is what they look like before they get formed and polished. I'm about to put them into our pickle. And this is the pickle. It cleans metal after you solder it. Bye-bye stacking rings. And this is what the bar studs look like before soldering and after. Here I am making some chains. I get our chain in a large spool, and then I cut it at the length we needed and add a jump ring and a clasp for a closure. And I add those to it, and then I will weld it with our little welder that we use for a permanent bracelet. So it comes in handy for quite a few different things. Jewelry making can be extremely repetitive, but sometimes that just makes it therapeutic. And then other times I get very bored. So it depends on what mood I'm in, but I think for the most part, I find it very relaxing and love doing what I do. I bought a spool of chain back in May that I thought was going to last me the whole summer, and maybe even into the fall. But I was very surprised that we've gone through like 3 or 4 spools now, and it's only July. So I'm very grateful for all the orders that we've been getting and the people that are shopping with us in the store. So you never know as a small business owner how much you're going to need to order for supplies. Or at least that's something I'm working on. Maybe other people have an idea, but I'm trying to do a better job at getting proper inventory, because when you order in bulk, most of the time you save in the long run. So it's cheaper to buy a lot of your materials if you know you're going to use them. So I am trying to do that more often, but I don't always know how much of something we're going to sell. So I'm getting ready this weekend for a pop-up that we have at one of my friend's boutiques. She's invited us and some other small businesses to pop up at her boutique this summer. So we'll be doing our custom engraved pendants with our new X tool. And if you're interested in learning more about the X tool, I did an unboxing, I think, for our last video. So I'll be actually using it at the pop-up so people can watch us engrave their pendants, or they can shop around while we engrave for them. So I'm really excited to be able to offer this. I think it's going to be lots of fun, but all these trainings are to prepare for that event. Now that all the chains are put together, I'm going to weld them. So having this welder has sped up the chain making process so much. I would highly recommend it if it's something that you're thinking about. It is not cheap at all, but if it's something that you can afford, it's been really helpful. Instead of soldering the tiny little jump rings, just welding them takes a second and there's minimal cleanup. And I can do so many more chains this way than I was able to before. And sometimes once I see it under the microscope, I see how I didn't close the jump ring perfectly, so I go back and touch it up a little bit so I can get a nice clean weld and a good even closure on that jump ring. Now I'm hammering our stacking rings. So our stacking rings have a hammer texture on them to add some sparkle, and then it also strengthens the ring itself since we use a thinner wire gauge. So the hammering work hardens the metal. So not only does it make it pretty, but it strengthens it as well. Then as I do that, I measure them to make sure that they're coming out to be the correct size that I want them to be. Because when I hammer it, it does stretch it out a little bit. So I make sure when I'm making them and cutting the wire at the beginning that I make it smaller than it needs to be finished. So I typically do one whole ring size smaller for the measurement, and then it'll come out to be the correct size in the end. Let me know if you like this voiceover that I'm doing today, or if you prefer to watch my videos without it, and just some music in the background while I'm working. I'm still trying to find how we're going to do all of our videos, so it'll probably change a little bit each time as we get better and figure out what works for us. But typically I edit them during my son's nap time, so I don't always have the ability to do a voiceover. So it's easier just to do text on the screen. And here they are finished. All right, I'm about to head home. Today ended up being super busy, which was great, but I didn't get as much work done as I had hoped. So you can see I did some polishing. It's hard to not get dirty when I do that, but anyway, I'm about to go pack my car up a little bit for an event that we have on Saturday. I'm gonna pack my table and stool, and then I'll try to take you along with me for that event in another video. Bye.